Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's Miles Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025, and you're locked in for an hour of news, fun, entertainment, and memery. As we look, it's a pretty damn nice week for August. I'm not going to lie. The weather's great. But let's get into the news. I'm sure you folks have seen this story by now. But people are throwing dildos at the WNBA. Well, by the way, I'm going to leave Sanglant's name as the stream sponsor from last stream because, yeah, $15, dude. Amazing. Thank you for that. Anyway, we got Cyrene Pickle in the chat over on Rumble saying hello, cheers, and welcome. Good seeing you. Actually, she was saying test in response to all my tests, or she or he, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my bad. I don't know. I always just assume. I see siren and Cyrene, and I just assume, I don't know, feminine for some reason. I guess I should know better. Anyway, cheers and welcome. Sorry. All right, so let's do WNBA dildos. Let's go to Sports Illustrated real quick, as they've got a good opinion piece here. WNBA dildo tossing trend is actually no laughing matter. Meh. What started out looking like a rogue fan stunt has turned into a cacophony of flying sex toys landing on NBA courts across the country. But with player safety, among other issues, coming into question, this bizarre trend is crossing the line from a little fun to a serious concern. And then this is from Rosalina Lee at Sports Illustrated. Let's do this. Oh, okay, yeah, female. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's why she didn't say testes or testicle. Okay. So, yeah, this is Rosalina Lee here. Oh, Premier Women's Basketball Space writers. Okay. All right. So, yeah, definitely a fun individual. Okay, let's go back to the story here. Oh, if you're a fan of the WNBA, even if you're not, you've probably heard of the recent trend of renegade green dildos landing on courts across the league. And there are now 4 separate incidents that span across the country in various arenas. So here's the 4th one. It went flying, didn't land on the court, but hit a child instead. Here's the 3rd one.
Oh, look out!
Flies in from there. Boom.
Came to the floor.
So this is becoming a good trend here. So if you haven't been following, there has been a here. Let's go to this.
Caldwell, something
there goes one flying. I think this was the first incident.
The crowd, the officials will say they will continue play as that goes off the fingertips of the Valkyries. And you can see the object, the block right there. And the object comes, that green thing bounces and it goes to the sideline.
Green thing.
We're not exactly we're not sure where it came from. No room for any of that type of activity. Yeah, and no one's picked the object up yet. You guys, oh my.
There it is. Okay, so let's bring that down. All right, so there is now a betting market. Polymarket Sports. Excuse me. Polymarket Sports recently posted this. I guess today at 1 p.m. No bag policy has been implemented for tonight's WNBA game in attempt to crack down on dildo throwers. And then, according to their betting market, there's still a 27% chance it's going to happen. They said 17 here, but I don't know. But there you have it. Got dildos being thrown at WNBA games. And we got Kevin in ABQ. What's up, Kevin? Good seeing you. Cheers and welcome. Cheers and welcome. Oh, my Lord. Did I bring a... Yes, I do have one. Sorry. Just making sure I had a pin for a later segment. Let's get Kevin a good sound effect here. Let's do the let's give Kevin the Mario Kart. All right, cheers and welcome. All right, let's go over to New York as we have a development in the mayor's race over in New York as the city is now denying Mayor Eric Adams public matching funds for his election bid. Mamdani and Sliwa were granted millions of dollars. Hey, still not banned here in the chat, cheering on the Mario Kart noises. Cheers and welcome to you. Well, here, I'll give you the dang Mario Kart noises too. Always good to be able to recycle. So Mayor Eric Adams' re-election bid was denied matching funds again, this time losing out on $3 million as the campaign finance watchdog accused his camp of obstruction. City Campaign Finance Board hinted that the mayor, running as an independent, may never see a dime as it believes his first campaign for City Hall in 2021 may have violated the law. The board determined that Adams' campaign has failed to demonstrate eligibility for public funds payment on two grounds. One, failure to provide information, and two, reason to believe that they violated the law with respect to failure to provide requested information. Let's see. Kevin says we know this is coming from an atypical WNBA fan because it's not double-ended. Yes, exactly. Agreed. Let me go back to that video real quick while we're on the subject. Well, first of all, so you got these memes being made. And then these memes over here too on the right. So you got these memes being made. And then where was that video? Here it is.
Oh, look out.
Okay, now I want you to watch. Okay, when you say atypical WNBA fan. Now understand, you also have typical and atypical WNBA players. Notice, like, it hit this white girl here, and then this girl kicks it. But watch this white girl's attitude toward it. Look at her smiling and laughing and hugging the other white girl. Like, of all the people who have a serious attitude, like the girl that got hit by it is totally not phased. Like she's in good spirits about it. Anyway, back to Eric Adams. The board finds his campaign provided incomplete and misleading information to the campaign finance board and has impeded their staff's ability to complete its investigation into misconduct of the 2021 campaign. So obviously this is let's see. Campaign has maintained that it's up to date with the board's requests. It expected the cash to be turned on after securing a win in court last month when a judge ruled that Adams could not be denied funds based on the past criminal case. We're reviewing all legal options, including formal action to compel the release of public funds, said campaign spokesperson Todd Shapiro. We will not allow a vague and bureaucratic process to undermine the democratic fight of our supporters to participate in this election. Okay, so yeah, Mamdani got 1.5 million. Wait, what? Let's see. The board approved 1.68 million in matching funds for Mamdani and 1.191 million for Sliwa. Okay. Mamdani maxed out his fundraising in the primary, bringing in over $7 million. Brings his cash on hand over $5 million, and Sliwa has $2 million to spend with the matching funds. And then Cuomo's running as an independent. Says he has 1.17 million. So there we go. Heating up in the New York mayor's race. It's like we got a lot of cheers and hellos in the chat. Good seeing it. Okay, we're gonna stick with the New York Post for the next story, and the next story is pretty interesting in my opinion. As let me go ahead and bring that down. Friend of Elon Musk and ex Doge staffer Big Balls is in the news again. This time because he was left bloodied after a savage carjacking attempt by 10 juveniles. Let's see. Here's a minute 15 clip. Let's see if this. Oh, here.
Man who was
to cut from the federal government. More would you like Doge to cut from the federal government?
Well, it's not so much Doge anymore. And by the way, I have to say that somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run. But it's not a question of Doge. We have great people,
Okay, I'm just gonna bring that down now because yeah, you kind of heard the big reveal there. Hey, we got Shut Up I Can Cook over on YouTube. Cheers and welcome. Always good seeing Cookie in the chat, especially when we're doing New York news. Yeah, go Sliwa. Definitely can use someone like that in power, but yeah, he's got the deck stacked against him, and they're definitely trying to neuter both him and Adams. Salute to Cookie here. All right. Okay, so the 19-year-old former Doge staffer was beaten and bloodied by a mob of 10 minors. Minors. Now you gotta love how they call them minors. Early Sunday, as he thwarted a carjacking attempt in the nation's capital, according to D.C. police. Edward Corstein, whose LinkedIn handle earned him the nickname Big Balls, was walking with a woman near downtown D.C. when he saw the group of juveniles approach their car and, quote, make a comment about taking the vehicle, according to Metro PD. At that point, for her safety, Corstein pushed his significant other into the vehicle and turned to deal with the suspects. The suspects then began to assault him, he told officers, who rolled up on the scene the same time he was being attacked. Officers patrolling the 1400 block of Swan Street, popular area with shops, bars, and restaurants about a mile north of the White House, noticed a group of approximately 10 juveniles surrounding the complainant's vehicle and assaulting Corstein, the report states. The officers immediately exited their vehicle and the juveniles began fleeing. Police were only able to nab 2 of the suspects, who were later positively identified by Corstein as being among his attackers. And there's Big Balls right there, sitting all bloodied and beat. A 15-year-old male and 15-year-old female, both from Hyattsville, Maryland, were arrested and charged. Corstein was treated on the scene by DC Fire and EMS for injuries. He's recovering from a broken nose, concussion, and black eye. The group of teenagers shouted about taking the woman's car, then ran across the street just before they started to beat Corstein. Corstein pushed his female. Yeah, we already heard that. The gang tried to open the closed doors and slammed Corstein against the car extremely loudly while attacking him, the source noted, noting that the woman called 911 from inside the vehicle while he was being beaten. He also had his iPhone 16 stolen during the attack. President Trump showed a photograph of the assault on Corstein Tuesday afternoon. Probably the photo we just saw here. Yeah, True Social, Real Donald Trump. Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, and maiming and shooting innocent citizens at the same time, knowing they will be almost immediately released. They are not afraid of law enforcement because they know nothing ever happens to them, but it's going to happen now. The law in D.C. must be changed to prosecute these minors as adults and lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean, and beautiful for all Americans, and importantly, for the world to see. If D.C. doesn't get his act together quickly, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run this city how it should be run and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. Perhaps it should have been done a long time ago, and this incredible young man and so many others would not have had to go through the horrors of violent crime. If this continues, I'm going to exert my powers, federalize this city, make America great again. All right. Marco Elez, a longtime colleague at Doge, claimed in a social media post that, quote, "My friend Big Balls is a hero. I took this photo after Edward protected a young woman from an attempted carjacking near DuPont Circle. Violence like this in the heart of D.C. is unacceptable," said Elon Musk. And there you have it. Justice for Big Balls, y'all. Justice for Big Balls. We got Rusty Rivers in the chat. Yeah, Rusty Rivers' Big Balls is showing them off. So, yeah, let's do this. Fuck it, we'll go Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Hey, cheers and welcome. Good seeing you over there, Rusty Rivers. All right, Big Balls showing them off. And so one more clip of Trump reiterating just one more time.
Taking over the D.C. police, is that an option on the table?
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous. I could show you a chart comparing D.C. to other locations, and you're not going to want to see what it looks like. It was just up on television, actually. They were showing it. Now, we want to have a great, safe capital.
You know, that's kind of funny you mentioned that, Kevin and ABQ. D.C. miners, Maryland dad, no shortage of euphemisms for people doing ill. Well, you know, the miners really were from Maryland, it said. So, yeah, they probably had a Maryland dad. You know, you got to love what's going on over there in Maryland.
And we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness and it includes other things. We have a capital that's very unsafe. You know, we just almost lost a young man, beautiful, handsome guy that got the hell knocked out of him the night before last. And I'm going to call him now. We wanted to give him a little recovery time. We just put a call into him. They're calling back in a little while, but he went through a bad situation, to put it mildly, and there's too much of it. We're gonna do something about it. So whether you call it federalized or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're going to beautify the city. We're going to make it beautiful. And what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
And are you considering taking...
Okay, there we go. So, yeah, but I think you're also going to have to do something about Maryland and maybe even old, what do you call it, Cincinnati at this point. Remember the Cincinnati from the last show? All the Cincinnati stuff from last week? So, yeah, D.C. is not the only thing Trump has called out this week. Trump also, I mean, look, whether or not something actually gets done, we don't know. But Trump actually has mentioned the concept of debanking this week and called out a couple of big time banks out there. So let's see what Trump had to say about the big banks, and let's hear the response of one of the people he's calling out as we go to this clip from CNBC.
Good morning to you, or I should say really good afternoon. Joining me right here in Aspen is Bank of America's CEO, Brian Moynihan.
By the way, this clip is where we got the title of the stream today, so here we go.
And I originally planned to talk to you about the economy, and I still do, but I have something that was not on my bingo card this morning. because we talked to President Trump on Squawk Box about this executive order that he's planning around banks who he thinks discriminated against conservatives. And your name came up. And so I just wanted to show you what he said and wanted to get your reaction to that.
What happens is I call up Bank of America routinely because when I was president, this was after I got out, by the way, I call up Bank of America routinely, and I speak to him and I speak to a couple of people, and they have zero interest. Brian was kissing my ass when I was president, and when I called him after I was president to deposit $1 billion plus and a lot of other things, more importantly, to open accounts. And he said, we can't do it. No, we can't do it.
Oh, shit, that's not the clip I
You
thought
heard
it was.
Were you watching TV when this was happening?
There's a longer clip.
I got up early because we're on East Coast time. I was working out and I was.
Okay, hang on. Let me go find the longer clip where he talks about JP Morgan as well. I thought that was the longer clip. Yeah, let's hear Trump's whole quote here. Where is it? Come on, give it to me. Oh, my Lord. Okay, here we go. I had to go to CNBC to get it.
With President Xi, and then you went out of your way to kind of say other people
Oh, God,
are
this
saying,
is a
I think
6
you
minute
called
clip.
it fake news or something. It almost now, and how optimistic
Oh,
are you?
shut up.
I'll tell you, you had a point when I had 145% kidding. So I sort of had to bring it down a little bit. But when it was up to 145%, meaning we were doing zero business with China, China was reliant on the United States. My President Xi, we respect him a lot.
A
don't wanna
different
hear about
topic.
China.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that
Here
you're
we go.
prepping an order that they say would punish
Here we
banks
go.
that discriminate against conservatives, including potentially Bank of America. I'm going to be actually talking to Brian Moynihan here later today. Can you tell us about that executive order? What's in that? And what do you think the banks have done?
Well, they did discriminate.
Here we go.
I had J.P. Morgan Chase. I had hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. I could see if they want to, if they want to do something bad because you don't have any money and you're defaulted and they took people out. But I'll give you me as an example. I had hundreds of millions. I had many, many accounts loaded up with cash. I was loaded
Many
up
accounts.
with cash. And they told me, I'm sorry, sir. We can't have you. You have 20 days to get out. I said, you got to be kidding. I've been with you for 35, 40 years. They said,
Morgan Chase. Old bank.
I mean,
old Trump.
I had all this. I didn't know what to do with it.
Gotta go.
And I went to, and you could ask him. Maybe he's not going to admit it. So I said, I was informed by my people that we have to get out of Chase Manhattan. That's Jamie and J.P. Morgan Chase. So I said, I can't believe it. Well, I was never in this situation before. I've never had anything like it. And it's not like, gee, you defaulted on a loan. Geez, if I could understand that, that's different. But there's no default. I mean, there's nothing but cash. I have a really great company. And then what happens is I call up Bank of America routinely because when I was president, this was after I got out, by the way, I call up Bank of America routinely. And I speak to him and I speak to a couple of people, and they have zero interest. Brian was kissing my ass when I was president. And when I called him after I was president to deposit $1 billion plus and a lot of other things, more importantly, to open accounts, which banks always like. They like accounts because they get interest free, the overnights and things, there are a lot of reasons for it, but they like accounts. I had hundreds
it's an
of
influx
accounts,
of money.
And he said, we can't do it. No, we can't do it. So I went to another one. I ended up going to small banks all over the place. I mean, I was putting
see, imagine that. You're president of the United fucking States, and you got to go find podunk banks.
12 million. I have them all over the place. The craziest thing.
Because the two biggest banks in America won't
They
work
were doing me a favor. And that's because the banks discriminated against me.
Okay, so we'll stop that right there. And let's go back. Let's go back to old Brian. Where did it go? Brian Moynihan here. Let's go back to what he was about to say and let's hear his response.
watching your wonderful show, and he came on, and I'm telling you, I'm still trying to unsee some of the visuals that he created with his commentary. But look, the president's after the right thing, which is the laws, rules, and regulations around our industry became used to cause things to happen. It's whether it's BSA/AML, whether it's KYC, whether it's reputational risk, and you heard Tim Scott quote about it. It is right to go look at these rules, because at the end of the day, they are causing decisions to be made that can be looked at in retrospect and made different.
You're going to blame the government. You're going to blame the government.
We should get these rules right. So our company, my colleague companies, the industry has been working with the Treasury administration today, in this administration, trying to figure out how to get these rules balanced so that we're not subject to this swinging back and forth in this after the fact look. So the president's on the right issue. He asked me about it in Davos. We were there. Right. He talked about it this morning, and I welcome getting this fixed. At the end of the day, we bank 70 million consumers, more small business than anybody else, 12 million small business, more middle market companies than anybody else. We bank everybody. But the reality is we want to make sure that the rules and regulations don't cause decisions to be made that then are looked at in the aftermath.
We love small business. Oh, yeah. Look, all the bankers should be in jail. All the bankers should be in jail. Period. The big bankers. These kind of folks need to be in jail. Folks, we've had a see, still not banned here, says unreal. President can't even bank because he's not a Mason clown. And then Rusty Rivers, I got a bunch of pillowcases Donald should store his loot in. Please let him know. I mean, he could invest some of it into Mild's culture plate. Eventually he'll get a return on his investment, but it might be slow going, but we'll get it going. He could join Sanglant as a stream sponsor. So we had a mass shooting event today in Georgia at Fort Stewart. Let's go into Fox News here.
It's been narrowed down. The 2nd Brigade combat area is the location of the active shooter, according to authorities there on post. The scene is very active, they tell us. No information on the suspect. Fox can confirm people are hurt in this, and what we're being told is casualties, and that could mean hurt or worse.
So
we'll call them casualties. We don't know the conditions of people.
Cookie's asking, Mild, what are my limits? ? On here. You're on YouTube, so you're subject to whatever YouTube's terms of service are. As far as my show, I do my show specifically for my audience on Rumble and Locals. So I follow Rumble and Locals terms of service, and if YouTube wants to strike me or YouTube wants to give me content warnings, they could do it all day. I don't care if I stream to YouTube. Honestly, Cookie, you are one of the only reasons I even still stream to YouTube. There are very few people who tune into me on YouTube. I would rather just continue doing my show on Rumble. And so that's what I do. I do my show as if I assume Rumble's going to be carrying it. And if YouTube happens to keep me on there, and because I'm never going to be monetized on YouTube, not at this rate. I'm so hidden and shadow banned all over YouTube that I give no shits about it. I literally just put it there just to have more places where my content goes. Anyway, because you got to diversify. Anyway, so let's go back to this. I'm sorry. This is an important story. I don't mean to interrupt, but this aired earlier today when there was no information. So, that's why I interrupted it when I did.
We don't know if anyone has been killed, but we know people are hurt.
People were hurt. Nobody actually was killed. There were people in sort of serious condition in the hospital, but
during the situation, we'll bring you information as we can get it. And I do want to mention this, the Fort Stewart base commander and authorities there have told people to shut their windows, to lock their doors, get away from those openings, and to been narrowed down.
Okay, so they were still on the lookout for the shooter at that point in time. They now have made arrests. This is from Charlie Kirk on Twitter. The Fort Stewart shooter, now in custody, is 28-year-old Army Sergeant Coronelez Radford. He did not use a military weapon. All 5 soldiers who were shot are in stable condition. 3 underwent surgery. Praise God. Now throw the book at this monster. So there you have it. Photo, obviously, from the Georgia Gazette. Got the watermark. This individual is a monster and definitely needs to go to jail for a long time. We'll see if we hear any more about that story, and cheers and prayers to those 5 soldiers to make a full, healthy recovery. In other terrorist news, we've got FBI Director Kash Patel issuing an update on actions of the FBI as we have the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and as my camera blows the fuck up, my apologies. It usually fixes itself after a minute, so we'll see. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force arrested a man in Long Beach for allegedly sending money to ISIS and pledging allegiance to terrorist organization that targets Americans. FBI LA also recovered evidence of explosives. We will find and stop anyone who threatens American lives. And he shares this photograph of what looks like 3 aerosol cans taped to wires, wrapped in aluminum foil, where the wires are connected to a switch and a little battery compartment. And he calls this evidence of explosives. Now, I don't know what's in the aerosol cans, and I know aerosol cans can be pretty combustible. Still not been here. Terrorist organization, yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can get the camera working again. Nope. Huh. All right. We'll just kind of hold off on the camera for just a minute. So yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Oh, here we go. ice.gov. Let's follow the link here. Mark Lorenzo Villanueva, 28, charged with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. Mr. Villanueva is allegedly to have financed, support, and pledged his allegiance to a terror group that targets the U.S. and our interests around the world. Thanks to the proactive efforts by the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the FBI, and our partners, we safely arrested Mr. Villanueva today and prevented further support and spreading of ISIS ideology. So let's do this. Let's search DuckDuckGo for Mark Lorenzo Villanueva. See if we can get a fucking picture of this guy's. We have no picture of his mugshot here. I did see something in the. Hey, there we go. My camera, my OBS came back, so let's get my camera back on it. I did see something in the original X alleging that it's this guy, but I'm calling. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is Lorenzo Villanueva, and it said an ICE was involved, and you want me to believe this was a white guy. I don't know. Could be, but it could be Twitter doing the Twitter thing. All right. So there you go. There's one department of the federal government that we brought you a news update on. Let's go to other federal government departments, as we got two back-to-back news stories about things that Bobby Kennedy is up to. And let's do this. Boom.
Confirmation, our department has encouraged states to think differently and creatively about how to solve the many health issues facing Americans. One way is by not allowing taxpayer-funded benefits to be used to purchase unhealthy items like soda, candy, and other junk food. The number one purchase by SNAP recipients is sugary drinks. SNAP is a supplemental nutrition program meant to provide health food benefits to low-income families to supplement their grocery budget so they can afford the nutritious food essential to health and well-being. That is the stated purpose of the SNAP program. The law states...
See, notice she said supplemental. This is not meant to feed a family of 7 their entire grocery budget for the month. And yet, I personally know people who get like thousands of dollars.
It, and President Trump's USDA plans to deliver on it alongside our partners at HHS. So today, I'm proud to sign 6 more waivers for Florida, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Colorado. This is in addition to the waivers we've already signed for Iowa, Indiana, and others across the country.
Yeah.
I continue to encourage states to be laboratories of innovation. Think through how you can...
Still Not Banned here says something skipping back to earlier in the stream. Don't tell me Rumble Studios farting on me.
Promote healthy families and healthy communities. And because of our historic partnership, USDA and HHS, and the visionary leadership of the governors here with us today and of the states represented by the signings, we are doing something.
Oh my God, Cookie, you're speaking my language. I mean, say what you will about single moms, right? It's a thankless job, blah, blah, blah. But when you're seriously turning it into your job and making it a career and doing what you can to advance that career ladder by popping out kid after kid after kid.
Thing about it. These SNAP waivers are just one piece of the MAHA effort. We work so closely together to encourage voluntary commitments to remove artificial food dyes, among other things, from our food supply. And together we are crafting sensible dietary guidelines for Americans that prioritize whole, healthy, and nutritious foods.
Okay, there you have it. You have HHS limiting what SNAP funds can be used for. And now my Rumble Studio is really shot. Let's go back to Bobby Kennedy. Still Not Banned here says, I'm sorry, who is this? Who was that? Let me go look. Secretary Rollins, Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture. Okay. So let's go back to Bobby Kennedy. He's got another announcement to make. This is another sort of long video.
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, your HHS secretary. At HHS, we have a division called the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA. BARDA drives some of our most advanced scientific research. It funds developments of vaccines, drugs, diagnostics, and other tools to fight emerging diseases and national health threats. Over the past few weeks, BARDA reviewed 22 mRNA vaccine development investments and began canceling them. Let me explain why. Most of these shots are for flu or COVID, but as the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. Here's the problem. mRNA only codes for a small part of the viral proteins, usually a single antigen. One mutation and the vaccine becomes ineffective. This dynamic drives a phenomenon called antigenic shift, meaning that the vaccine paradoxically encourages new mutations and can actually prolong pandemics as the virus constantly mutates to escape the protective effects of the vaccine. Millions of people, maybe even you or someone you know, caught the Omicron variant despite being vaccinated.
Uh-oh.
That's because a single mutation can make mRNA vaccines ineffective. The same risk applies to flu. After reviewing the science and consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, there's something about Rumble Studio. Sometimes it can get really laggy. This might be one of those times. My apologies to everyone out there. I'm trying, yo.
RNA technology poses more risk.
And here's the thing: as laggy as Rumble Studio normally is, when I do my gaming streams, it adds a good minute, like almost a full minute of lag just between OBS and Rumble Studio. When I do my politics stream, I only use OBS as a virtual cam. But when I do my gaming streams, I use the RTMP, so I'm connecting OBS to Rumble's servers and then pumping the stream out. And that adds another 30 seconds before it even hits Rumble Studio. 30 seconds to a minute. So, I mean, yeah, Rumble Studio's laggy, and it's even worse when you're trying to make it higher quality, and that's what I got to do with my gaming stream because it was lagging. It was so choppy trying to do a gaming stream because there's not enough bandwidth to do it directly into Rumble Studio. So I was having to use the RTMP settings, and it's just completely broken. But yeah, hopefully it gets better. You know, it's not a perfect service, but it's free, it's easy to use, and it helps creators by providing something with a built-in revenue source, a built-in it connects directly to all streams, and it's free. So I mean, until something better comes along, better value, so to speak. I used back in the early days of my stream, I streamed directly from OBS to YouTube, and then when I started doing Rumble, I started using StreamYard and streaming to both, and then that kind of got borky and messed up. And I hear it's a lot more stable now, but yeah, Rumble Studios pretty much what you got to use nowadays in order to get it pumped out to several destinations. But let's finish hearing him say the problems with mRNA vaccines here
and benefits for these respiratory viruses. That's why, after extensive review, BARDA has begun the process of terminating these 22 contracts totaling just under $500 million. To replace the troubled mRNA programs, we're prioritizing the development of safer, broader vaccine strategies, like whole virus vaccines and novel platforms that don't collapse when viruses mutate. Let me be absolutely clear. HHS supports safe, effective vaccines for every American who wants them. That's why we're moving beyond the limitations of mRNA for respiratory viruses and investing in better solutions. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the Health and Human Services moving away from risky mRNA vaccines. Okay. Let me see if I can do this here. Window. Okay, that can kind of work. Okay, I'm going to bring up a screenshot I took in Microsoft Photos here. Because I just wanted to throw this shout out. Folks, if you're not familiar, one of the things that kind of got me involved in this whole fight, political fight and fight against disinformation, and one of the things that got me involved was the presidential campaign of Dr. Ron Paul, father of Senator Rand Paul. And I came across a few weeks back I came across this Twitter post of Senator Rand Paul. And I wasn't going to do this on stream. I wasn't even going to mention this on stream, but the more I got to thinking about it, I thought this might make for an interesting segment as Rand Paul has asked people to send Ron Paul a birthday card. Well, this week I went out and purchased a birthday card. Birthday blessing. May God's blessing of joy satisfy your heart, His peace surround your soul, and His love refresh your spirit. May each and every grace-filled blessing bring you much happiness in the coming year. Happy birthday. And it's got the verse of Psalm 103:2. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and do not forget all His benefits, who satisfy you with good as long as you live. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to Dr. Ron Paul. Let me go ahead and write this address down here on the envelope. P.O. Box 1776. What an address. Lake Jackson, Texas. 77566. Okay. Thank you for all you have done for our country. Nation. All you've done for our nation. And the cause of liberty we love you, Dr. No. There we go. Kevin Miles, Miles Culture Plate of Kansas. Boom. Gonna get that in the mail tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dr. Paul. I hear they're going to do some big libertarian live stream where several libertarians are going to stream from his barbecue birthday party. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Let's bring this up here. Here we go. That's this Saturday. Going to have Ron Paul, Tulsi Gabbard, Kane, Glenn Jacobs, Dave Smith, Tom Woods, Jeff Frazee, Bobby Gray, Jimmy Vaughn, Lawrence Reed, Kennedy from Fox News, Justin Amash, Daniel McAdams, Scott Horton. So Libertarian Redhead, Peter Schiff. So lots of folks. Clint Russell, Mike Moresco, Spike Cohen, Gary Franchi. Lots of folks. If I skipped over you, my apologies. But yeah, Ron Paul's 90th birthday. So yeah, happy birthday, Ron Paul. Cheers. And so, yeah, I plan on tuning in to that this Saturday if I can. let's go ahead and move on. So one name that wasn't on there. I don't know. One name that wasn't on there that's been sort of beloved by the libertarian movement was Thomas Massie. And we covered Thomas Massie a couple weeks ago talking about this recess of Congress and how he introduced a bill to release the Epstein files and how the Congress going into summer recess was not going to be necessarily possible without instituting his bill because Congress would need to come back into session to prevent Trump's recess appointments. Well, Thomas Massie has now let us know that that has actually happened. He didn't really give an update to his bill, though. But now we have an empty chamber.
The House will be in order. The chair lays before the House a communication from the Speaker.
The Speaker's Rooms, Washington, D.C., August 5th, 2025. I hereby appoint the Honorable Mike Herodopoulos to act as Speaker pro tempore on this day. Signed, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The prayer will be offered by the guest chaplain. Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1, the Journal of the Last Stage Proceedings is approved. The chair will lead the House in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1, the House stands adjourned until 11:30 a.m. on Friday, August 8, 2025.
And now he's re-adjourning.
To the Senate. Under the provisions of Rule 1, Paragraph 3 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, I hereby appoint the Honorable Mike Rounds, a senator from the state of South Dakota, to perform the duties of the chair. Signed, Chuck Grassley, President pro tempore.
Under the previous order, the Senate stands adjourned until 1:05 p.m. on Friday.
So they gavelled in just to gavel back out.
2025.
No quorum, just gavelled in, gavelled back out. So we officially had a session of Congress, folks. We officially had a session of Congress today. And yeah, Thomas Massie, the Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader, are convening pro forma sessions of Congress in empty chambers during the August recess to block President Trump from making recess appointments. Why isn't the media covering this? We have friend of the show, Bill Dozer, replying, why isn't Trump calling it out unless he's part of the scheme? Yeah, why isn't Trump bitching about this? This blocks his recess appointments. In the meantime, speaking of quorums, right? Speaking of people not showing up for their legislative duties, not being able to form a legislative quorum. Still Not Banned here's giving a cheers, a happy birthday. Cookie saying 90 years old. Yeah, Ron Paul is 90, man. Still trucking. Gotta love it. Cookie says, I'm personally sick of the Epstein files. Dear good, lock them up. Take care of this nation. Yes, we need to lock them up so that, we have justice in this country. Anyways, so we got this whole debacle going on in Texas. Speaking of legislative quorums, we have a situation in Texas where the Texas governor and Republican-controlled legislature have said, we want to redraw districts. We want to do our redistricting, our gerrymandering duty. Gerrymandering is something done by every new government, and they want to do it in Texas. And in protest, several Democrat lawmakers have left the state in order to block quorum. Now, we saw a similar tact being taken place by Republicans in Ohio a couple years ago, where Republicans in Ohio did not want to vote. They wanted to hold up the vote on a carbon tax, or not Ohio, Oregon. Sorry. Republicans in Oregon wanted to hold up a vote on a carbon tax. Well, now Democrats in Texas want to hold up a vote on redistricting because they know they're going to lose. And so now they have fled the state and went to Illinois. And we now have several politicians in Texas calling for their arrest. And remember, when this happened in Oregon a couple of years ago, we had the governor threaten their arrest, and we had Republican representatives saying, hey, yeah, make sure if you send them over here where we are in Utah, make sure they to send bachelors and be well armed. I don't think we're going to hear that from the Texas Democrats here. Let's do boom. So this is from Dustin Burrows, Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, District 83. Texas will not be held hostage by Democrat lawmakers who abandon their duty. I commend the House members who showed up today ready to honor their oath, confront real challenges, and deliver results for the people of Texas. To those who fled, your absence delays our work, but it does not stop it. I've signed civil arrest warrants to compel attendance and get back to work. We will restore a quorum. We will act. We will address the issue on the special session call. And here's a photo. Kevin says, House does not impact approval. Senate does, and they're doing the same pro forma session. Yeah. Yeah, that video was first the House and then the Senate. But yeah. And so, yeah, but anyway, so here's Dustin Burrows' photo of him signing the arrest documents. And then you have Governor Greg Abbott saying Texas House Democrats abandoned their duty and are holding flood relief and property tax cuts hostage. I ordered DPS to arrest and return every derelict House Democrat to the Texas Capitol. This order will remain in effect until all missing Democrats are accounted for. So here you have the press release. Greg Abbott today ordered the arrest of delinquent Texas House Democrats. Texas House Democrats abandoned their duty. Basically the same thing he said there. Speaker Dustin Burrows just issued a call for the Texas House and issued warrants to compel the members to return to chamber. To ensure compliance, I ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to locate, arrest, and return to the House chamber any member who has abandoned their duty to Texans. This order will remain in effect, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and so then, of course, after the Speaker of the House and the Governor, have made these calls for arrest and pointed out how insane this is, well, of course, the Democrats are just poor victims of political persecution. And in fact, now, while they're trying to just safely hide out in Illinois, well, now they're a victim of bomb threats. Let's go to the Guardian here. Texas Democrats have received a bomb threat in an escalating standoff over redistricting. Lawmakers have been sheltering in Illinois after denying quorum for gerrymandering scheme. Texas Democrats who left the state say they experienced a bomb threat at their Illinois hotel on Wednesday amid an ongoing clash with Republicans. John Busey, a Democrat who represents Austin, confirmed the threat on Wednesday and said the lawmakers were evacuated. Quote, "This is what happens when Republican state leaders publicly call for us to be hunted down. Texas Democrats won't be intimidated," he said. "We are safe, we are secure, we are undeterred." Three other members of the Democrat caucuses, Representatives Gene Wu, Ramon Romero, and Barbara Gervin Hawkins, said in a statement they thanked Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois and law enforcement officials for their quick action to ensure our safety. Showdown, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Greg Abbott filed an emergency petition asking the state Supreme Court to remove Wu, the top Democrat in the House of Representatives, and declare his seat vacant. Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that. Fearing one of 18 items on the special session agenda, Democrat members claim an entitlement to abdicate their official duties by refusing to show up for work. Lawyers for Abbott's office wrote in the filing asking the court to rule on his request by Thursday. These members have abandoned their official duties required by the Constitution. In a statement on Tuesday evening, Wu said he would not be intimidated. This office does not belong to Abbott. It does not belong to me. It belongs to the people of District 137 who elected me. I took an oath to the Constitution, not a politician's agenda, and I will not be the one to break that oath, he said in a statement. Let me be unequivocal about my actions and my duty. When a governor conspires with a disgraced president to ram through a racist, gerrymandered map, my constitutional duty is not to be a willing participant. So let's click the new map. Let's see, is this... They're not going to show the map. All right. It's all over Twitter. Let me go ahead and go to Twitter. Here we go. Here's from Wokeness. New redistricting map. Now, yeah, there are some districts that look a little funny shaped. But there were way worse districts before. Cookie says Democrats, including Ghetto Jasmine, are fighting foreigners to vote. Are y'all getting out? Yeah. Yeah, everyone get out to vote, especially if you're in Texas. Need to fight this shit. And of course, with a completely rational, sane take, fellow Rumble personality Tim Pool had this to say.
Let me just say this so we don't bury the lead. They have vacated their seats. That's it. Now, there's an argument that the governor may try and replace them. There's an AG decision that came from the last time they did this. I think it was like 2021. I'm going to say this, and I ain't playing any games. And I'm going to go on a limb and say I think most of you agree.
I'm gonna.
Let me know. Comment below if you agree. The moment they stated their intention was to break quorum, they have vacated their seats, and their seats should be considered abandoned, and they should be filled by whatever measure appropriate by law.
What?
That is temporary replacements by the governor, perhaps, if that's how it works, or emergency elections, if that's what it takes, perhaps. But they should do it immediately. The moment they left the state and said, we will not appear, you're done. You're cooked. You left. You have vacated your seat. I don't know by what argument they're going to try and make that this is not vacating their seat.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that's what happened here. Let me just say, I don't think that's what happened here. Yeah, to some degree, yeah, you got to give them an opportunity to come to the table and negotiate. But quite frankly, a lack of quorum, yeah, you just hold new elections. I mean, yeah, he did mention hold new elections, but you know, the people have spoken, they elected these crazy people, and it is what it is. Okay, last few stories here. We got 3 more stories. This next one's going to be a little more drawn out. Still not banned here. Sound very Jersey here. Well, I mean, Chicago, Jersey, same toilet, right? Let me ask you a question. You folks, Cookie says sedition. Maybe there are ways you could do it, but you can't just declare the seats vacant. You have to say that like some sort of crime has been committed, or that they've derelicted their duty, and therefore see if some charges can be brought up or something. You know, you can't just say they're vacant. I would approve of sedition. But anyway, you folks have been around for a while, and I know a lot of you were following this channel during the election. And I want to know if you folks remember this video from the election season. This is not Kamala Harris talking here.
I, Kamala Harris, senior Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring...
Okay, so I got a question. If I hadn't said this is not Kamala Harris speaking, how many of you would have actually thought Kamala Harris was saying these words?
The significance of the
Anybody?
insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Okay, so Rusty Rivers says Timmy looks like a me. Still Not Banned here says, what's a me? Me is there was like a Nintendo emoji during the Wii era. Wii era. And this is what they looked like. These were the Miis from the Nintendo Wii era. Anyways, let's go back to Kamala here. Still Not Banned here says, yeah, the AI voice can be spot on, sometimes obvious, sometimes not. All right. So yeah, I think I've played enough of that video. If you remember that video, that started a whole debacle where we had Gavin Newsom and Elon Musk in a Twitter spat that turned into a court spat. So here's the tweets. And Gavin Newsom did a whole like press tour about how dangerous these deep fakes are. Dangerous deep fakes. Manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. And he did. California passed a law about deepfake AIs being used in advertising for political campaigns. Cookie says, thank God black, white, and all men and some women voted no to this Kamala as our prez. Yeah. And then Still Not Banned here says she thought we was a new derogatory term she was unaware of. All right. And then, of course, Elon Musk said, I checked with renowned world authority, Professor Sug on D's nuts, and he said parody is legal in America. We had a lawsuit. We had a lawsuit happen in the ensuing months. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Politico, Elon Musk and X notch a court win against the California deepfake law. One of the country's strictest bans on election deepfakes was defeated by a challenge from the tech billionaire. A federal judge on Tuesday struck down a California law restricting AI-generated deepfake content during elections, notching a win for Elon and X. But Judge John Mendez, also known as Professor Sug on D's nuts, I'm just kidding, also declined to give an opinion on the free speech arguments that were central to the case, instead citing federal rules for online platforms for his decision. He said he intended to overrule a second law which would require labels on digitally altered campaign materials and ads for violating the First Amendment. The judge's decisions on Tuesday deal a blow for Governor Gavin Newsom, who signed the laws last year in a rebuke of Musk, who vowed to take action after, So there we have it, folks. The original challenge was filed by the creator of the video, Christopher Coles, on First Amendment grounds, with X later joining the case after Musk said the measures were, quote, designed by to make computer generated parody legal. The satirical right-wing news website Babylon Bee and conservative social media site Rumble also joined the suit. The Harris video depicted her describing herself as, quote, the ultimate diversity hire. Mendez said the law conflicted with the Section 230 of the Federal Communications Decency Act, which shields online platforms from liability for what third parties post. They don't have anything to do with these videos that the state is objecting to, said that the hosts of the deepfakes. Newsom's spokesperson, Tara Gallegos, said the governor's office was still reviewing the decision, but they, quote, remained convinced that common sense labeling requirements for deepfakes are important to maintain the integrity of elections. Hey, Rusty Rivers gifting a membership. Rusty Rivers gifting a membership. Holy crap. Let's change our sponsors here. Let's replace Sanglant, who has yet to show tonight, with Rusty Rivers. All right. Rusty Rivers is now the stream sponsor. Thank you so much, Rusty Rivers. Big cheers. Big cheers. Love you, bro. All right. Yay. Yay. Kevin in ABQ says, no chance that was Kamala. Not enough Cabernet in the AI. Yeah. So, yeah, after all that, hey, we can still make deepfake political ads, folks. Feel free, because satire is now legal in California. Rusty Rivers says, don't replace Sanglant. No, I'm replacing Sanglant because he was the stream sponsor of the last show. You've donated this show, so you've become the sponsor of this stream. All right, folks, we're going to be wrapping this up here real quick. Let's go over and see the FAFO, fuck around and find out of the day. Let's check out the fuck around and find out of the day, as we have a scooter gang. Yeah, a scooter gang pulling out into traffic and holding up traffic. And let's see how well this works out for these guys. Ooh, oh. Oh, yes, that was totally the Hells Angels, Rusty Rivers. Look, I mean, if you're going to have, 25 people riding down the street at once, like, fucking ride single and double file in the far right lane. Don't be cutting in and out of cars. You fucking deserve that. Every fucking one of you deserve that, and I hope at least one of you broke your goddamn kneecap. All right. Let me bring that down. Let's see. We're over 10 viewers. Do we have a Rumble ad? No Rumble ads. Damn it. Usually when we get over 10 viewers, we could do a Rumble ad. Okay, so we're going to finish this off by talking about jewelry. We're going to talk a little bit about jewelry because if you folks aren't aware, I'm going to be getting married soon. But not government married. Fuck that. I'm not marrying the government. Cookie looked away, no violence. That wasn't violence. That was fucking around and finding out. How was that violence? That wasn't violence. It was a vehicular accident. By the way, rest in peace to the Howard Stern show. By the way, you were once good, but yeah, you've eaten yourself and killed yourself. So yeah, bye Howard Stern show. That's all I got to say about that. I just noticed that Tim Pool was talking about Howard Stern over on his show. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about jewelry because you may remember a while back there was Sam Cedar did one of these Jubilee videos where debating a bunch of Republicans, and there was this young lady, Sarah Stock, who said that she wanted more xenophobia in America. And you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this girl's a Nazi," and blah 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 blah, right? Well, now she's also getting married. Not to me. I am not marrying this woman, but she's also getting married and has decided to announce it on the internet. And you know, anytime a woman has good news that involves a man on the internet, uh, the the internet always reacts in a very sane way, right? Yeah, no, they're shitting on her for the size of her ring. Can you see this thing? They're shitting on her for the size of the ring and saying her husband, her future husband, must not love her. You know, a lot of conservative influencers wishing her congratulations, but let's look at the reposts. Shit, fuck! I forgot how to view reposts on computer. How the fuck do you? Shit, I forgot how to view. I'm on my phone so much, I forgot how to do this on a computer. Oh. Why am I having a brain fart here? Hey, Cyrene Pickle says, congratulations, Mild. Yeah. Cookie says, buy her a nice ring. No, she's bought herself several rings. We're not doing the same ring thing that all you Christian folks do and all you traditional Americans do. We don't do the same ring stuff. How the fuck do you view reposts? Anyway, all these fucking crazy leftists and crazy women are shitting on her for the size of the ring. And I think it's pretty shitty. I think it's pretty shitty because love's not in a ring size. Love isn't in how much money you spend on a symbol. Love is about being together. And love is about taking photos in a flowery field and being proud of it. Love is a lot of things. In fact, let me go ahead and just go to her profile and you can see some of the shit. Look, these are allegedly conservatives here. Rob Smith, Xavier Durousseau, Isabella Maria DeLuca, why is it so small? LOL. Emily Saves America, the ring size with a skull. It's disgusting. It's disgusting because you're essentially what you're doing, you're pocket watching people on the internet. Just be loyal. Most women who marry will divorce. Mom says he can't put a string on my finger. Or he can put a string on my finger. Exactly. Exactly. Look, this thing I'm wearing is rubber, yo. It's rubber. Basically a rubber band. And I wear a different color one almost every stream. I don't know if you folks have noticed. Dedication is what matters. Get and stay happy. Yeah. Kevin ABQ says, "Oh, that's not what they're shitting on her for." Well, then what do you think it is? What do you think it is? She posted the post, and then all of a sudden, I mean, granted, I'm sure she said some dumb stuff because I think it's dumb to go on a left-wing TV show and say you need more xenophobia in America, but anyway, so that's going to be pretty much the show for tonight. Again, giant thank you to Rusty Rivers here for being the stream sponsor today. Big cheers, big cheers. Big cheers to everyone who showed up in the chat. Cheers, good seeing you. And cheers to everyone who views this video. I want to say that right now. Cheers to everyone. Everyone who viewed this video, because here's the thing. I'm now back, baby. I'm back in the Rumble Creator Program. And so I need all the damn views I can get because I want to get a paycheck next month. I want Rumble to give me a paycheck. So having said that, I need to stream more often. So I'm going to be doing my normal gaming streams on Mondays. I'm going to be doing my normal Wednesday and Saturday streams, and I'm going to try to drag them out kind of like I have tonight. Try to make sure I get them nice and packed. And I'm going to have to start doing the Rumble exclusive streams again. I don't know when exactly I'm going to be able to do them, but I'm going to try to do them. So folks, if you can, help me out with the algorithms. Find my profile, watch another video if you can. Hit that repost button, hit that like button, and leave comments. Come on back and chat in my future streams. Make sure your notifications are on. And again, try to watch on Rumble. Cookie, I know you're on YouTube, and I love you being on YouTube. Feel free to just jump over to Rumble for just about 5 minutes. Click the thumbs up button, do all that stuff, just to kind of help me out with the algorithms. I really need to move this needle just a little bit in order to make this show start paying for itself. See, Cookie? Yeah, YouTube censored you for talking the truth about women. You don't get censored on Rumble. You need to come on over to Rumble, click that Rumble Premium button, and watch me on Rumble Premium on the exclusive streams, and we could talk about women all day and night. Oh shit! Libs of TikTok just posted this. Let's go to this real quick before we finish wrapping up. Libs of TikTok just posted this. The victim, remember the victim of the Cincinnati attack last week? They said she went back to Russia. Well, I guess she's back in Cincinnati, folks. And she's got some words. Let's check this out real quick before we wrap up.
First and foremost, I just want to say that I don't want to relive what happened to me, 8 or 9 days ago. I'm here to talk about the future and how we can change it, how we can prevent this from happening to anybody else. These heinous crimes have to stop. I never want this to happen to anyone else, especially a mother, a daughter, somebody who is loved. So I just know what it's done to my family, not just to me. And I think that moving forward, we do need more accountability.
More accountability.
And I definitely think that, we need more police officers.
More police officers.
Like he said, the judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who attacked me and might have permanently damaged me forever should never have been on the streets. Ever.
He was out on bail.
And the fact that he had just gotten out of jail previously for something he should have been in there for years. It's really sad to me because I can't even fathom how many other people who have been attacked by the same type of man over and over and over in Toledo, in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton. Our streets are being taken over and nobody is doing anything.
He's saying only women's lives matter.
So
yeah, she didn't mention men. Yeah, it's okay for men to walk around with bruises. Yeah, but no women. Interesting. Interesting. When you know it's white women like her that voted for these policies in Ohio.
And I need to be the voice to help all of the victims that never got their justice. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, there we have it. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the show for tonight, folks. Again, big cheers and thank you to everyone for showing up. And yeah, shout out to those who are watching later on demand or listening to the audio only right now. Please click that thumbs up button where you are right now, and make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section later and let me know you were here. All that stuff really helps with the algorithm. Rusty Rivers, Cookie, Rumble accounts are free. Join the more free speech platform. You can make fun of Rusty's tiny dick so much over here. Yep. And I saw Cookie did make an account a couple months back when I was doing my exclusive streams. So yeah, I mean, come on over. We'd love to have you. All right. So yes, folks. Links down in the description to all the social media. Link down in the description to my gaming channel. You can find me over there on Mondays. Until next time, folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Oh, wait, you know what? I always do this. I always start the spiel, and then I have to stop it because I forgot to get a raid target. Let's see. Who do we have? Who do we have that we can raid? You know what? I'm gonna say fuck it. Let's raid Salty Cracker. I normally hate raiding the big accounts because they're not gonna notice. But I'm gonna raid Salty Cracker. Fuck it. Just this once. Just this once, I'll break my norm and raid Salty Cracker. Folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I'll catch you next time this Saturday on Mild's Culture Plate, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Catch you then. Good night, folks. Oh, target channel cannot be rated. Okay, well, let's do this again. Fuck. Home. Let's go to live. View all, page 4, like we used to do. Let's see what we got going on here. Browse. We got page 4. What's this Liberty-based news? What do they got going on here? Are they talking? Oh yeah, it's just a couple people. Do they have the chat up? I can't tell if they've got a chat up. They seem to have like several Twitter things and a news feed up.
Understanding.
Okay, I'll send you folks to them. Fuck it. They seem like nice guys. All right, cheers, folks. Good night.